What's good, YouTube? Welcome to the Ballers Club. It's your boy BallOrFallBird, the one and only Mr. Ballofall, the one and only Mr. Do It All, the one and only Mr. Everything Under the Sun will get done because your boy is best beyond. Listen, man, I want to go ahead and get straight into today's video, straight into today's topic, and that topic is we're already disciplined. We're just disciplined in the wrong things. And what do I mean by that? Why do I say this? I say this because I had a crazy thought in my head. I had a crazy just thinking about myself, I thought about my habits, and I thought about the habits of when I felt that I was at the most disciplined stage of my life, when I felt like I was getting the most success from, my daily habits, those things. And I think about on the other end of the spectrum, my habits when I was at probably the lowest in my life, the habits of when I felt like I wasn't really achieving the things that I wanted to achieve in life. And I noticed two things. I noticed that in both situations, I had habits. And within that, something that really got to me was the fact that when I was, I'm gonna give my example. When I was at the most disciplined point in my life, when I was having the most success, when I was, accomplishing all the things that I wanted to accomplish, I had specific habits. And these habits may have been waking up early. They may have been going to the gym every day. They may have been making sure that I journal every day. These could have been making sure that I, took time to meditate and pray every day. All these different habits. And then I think about the moments of my life when I was at my lowest. I think about the moments in my life when I wasn't feeling like I was as successful. I think about the moments in my life when I felt like everything wasn't going how I wanted it to go. And I think about those habits. And a lot of times those habits were sleeping in late. A lot of those habits were hitting the snooze button when my 5:30 alarm went off. Those habits were, not going to the gym. Those were not journaling. So in both situations, we had habits. I had habits. And I want to let you know that this applies to all of our lives. When the most successful version of ourselves versus the most unsuccessful version, the happiest version of ourselves versus the saddest version of ourselves, the best version of ourselves versus the worst version of ourselves, both are centered on habits. They're both centered on what habits we have on a daily basis, a weekly basis, a monthly basis, in a circumstantial or situational basis. And I hope I'm not, misguiding anybody, misleading anybody when I say these things, because I think about how, like I said, these were habits that I had, but think about what the definition of a habit is. The definition of a habit is pretty much in layman's terms, something that you do without thought. You do it pretty much by second nature. So I think about the habits that I had when I was my most disciplined self versus the habits that I had when I felt like I wasn't my most disciplined self, or my unsuccessful self, or myself that, wasn't getting the things achieved that I wanted to achieve. But I think about both of those habits. So the habits that I had when I was unsuccessful and not achieving the things that I wanted to achieve, I was disciplined at getting those done. We may be disciplined in coming home every single day and watching Netflix when we know that we should be disciplined in coming home and having an hour of deep work. We may be disciplined in eating the wrong foods when we know that we should be eating healthier foods so that we can achieve our weight goal, whatever that may be. We have discipline. I personally believe that we all have discipline, but we're just disciplined in the wrong things in certain areas of our life. So when we're not achieving the things that we want to achieve, we have to check what our habits are and what those look like, because those are the things that subconsciously we're disciplined at doing. Whereas if I'm disciplined every day to make sure that, I come home and read some kind of self-improvement book, some kind of self-development book, or, I come home and I meditate, or I come home and, I work on myself, or I work on my business. Those disciplined habits will look very different from the disciplined habits of coming home and sitting on my couch every day, coming home and watching Netflix every day. They're both disciplined habits. They're both a source of discipline, but the habit at hand is what makes us feel like we're so far this way or so far that way. So I hope that, like I said, I'm not losing anybody, because we're already disciplined. We just have to change the things that we're disciplined about. We just have to change the things that we're disciplined in doing. So I just say this to, I want to give y'all some food for thought. Think about the habits that you had at your most disciplined self. Think about the habits that you had at your most successful self. Think about the habits that you had when you were achieving the most that you wanted to achieve in life versus the habits that you have when you weren't. I'm not saying that you're there right now, because I know that if you're watching this video right now, that you're somebody that feels disciplined. If y'all still with me right now, put the word discipline in the comments, man. Like this video, subscribe to the channel, man. Join the BallOrFall family. But I just say these things because our disciplined habits on either end of the spectrum will shape our lives. They will shape the new future that we create. They will shape the new past that we create. And man, I'm saying words that I ain't even really said on this channel yet. I'm saying, phrases and stuff that I haven't said on this channel yet. But I just want y'all to know that my mind can go deep, but I just say these things because I've really thought about that. I thought about that in my case. I thought about that in my life. The times when I felt like I was having the most success versus the times that I wasn't. And I encourage you to think about those same things. What are your habits when you felt that you weren't accomplishing the things that you wanted to accomplish, when you weren't achieving the things that you wanted to achieve? What were those habits? Like I said, those could have been habits like eating the wrong foods when you know that you could have been eating better. When you know that you had a goal, you just had a bad habit of doing this, but you were disciplined at doing that habit because that habit is something that you were able to do second nature. So like I said, man, I just hope that, this is making sense to y'all, because I really just want us to make sure that we're just, as long as we're conscious and we're aware of our habits, it's not to say that they're going to change overnight. They're not going to change, some of them will change overnight, but I feel like as long as we're aware, and that's another, video topic that I, have, is just the awareness of our challenges, the awareness of our issues, the awareness of our obstacles in life, the obstacles that we either create for ourselves or that just continues to come in our lives. Having these awareness, but at the end of the day, having the awareness in this specific case of what are my disciplined habits when I was at my lowest versus what are my disciplined habits when I was at my highest. Like I said, for me speaking, I know that mine was working out. I know that mine was, reading every day. Mine was, making sure that I, spoke to specific family members. It was making sure that I meditated. It was making sure that I prayed. It was making sure that I, talked to certain family members, whatever the case may be. So like I said, I just say these things, and I just want to make sure that I give y'all that food for thought to think about the things that you're already disciplined in. Like I said at the beginning of the video, we're all, every single person on this earth is already disciplined, because I know that a lot of us look up these videos about how to be more disciplined, how to, how do I become that 5 a.m. person? Well, think about your disciplined habits that keep you from being that 5 a.m. person. Think about those disciplined habits that keep you from being that person that achieves their weight goal. Think about those disciplined habits that you have that is keeping you from any goal or any aspiration that you are trying to achieve, because these are things that you're already disciplined in. So it's not to say that you don't have discipline. It's just you're disciplined in the wrong things. You're disciplined in the wrong areas. You're disciplined with the wrong habits. So, man, I hope that this video helps somebody. Like I said, if you're still here at this moment, man, comment a number 7 in the comments, man. Y'all know that's my favorite number. Y'all know that I know that that's the number of completion, man. When we change our habits, when we realize the habits that we have, when we realize the habits that will make us disciplined in the way that we want to be disciplined and will make us and bring us the success that we want to have in our life, then we will be complete in our life, man. That's why I always say drop a number 7 in the chat, man, because I want all of us to be complete. I want everyone in this BallOrFall family to be complete, man. And that leads me to the next thing. If you're not a part of this BallOrFall family yet, man, subscribe to the family, man. We are a family, dog. Like, I try my best to, touch on all the topics that, all of y'all want me to hit on. A lot of y'all love my videos, and I'm so appreciative of that. I'm so thankful for that, man. But like I said, man, join the BallOrFall family, man. Get in with us, man. Like I said, at the end of the day, we trying to ball up, we trying to fall, but obviously we not trying to fall, man. We just, whenever we do fall, we get back up and we ball some more, man. So, like I said, dog, I appreciate y'all for coming to the Ballers Club today, man. It's your boy BallOrFallBird, the one and only Mr. BallOrFall, the one and only Mr. Do It All, the one and only Mr. Everything Under the Sun Will Get Done, because your boy is best beyond, man. And I will see y'all in the next video.